Hi, I'm Krishna Aswani, heading a prior search team at GreyB. We usually perform invalidation searches for telecom related patterns. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate our NPL search tool that we use to perform search on variety of non-patent standard databases like 3GPP, IETF, and video coding standards from ITUT as well. Now, although all these standard organizations, they also provide their independent search interface, but they have one or the other limitation because of which it takes us more time to analyze the results on those interfaces, and sometimes we cannot perform complex searches on them. So in today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how we can perform complex searches on our database. Let's suppose we want to track the concept of subsampling of codebooks that are used to indicate PMI vectors, that is pre-coding matrix indicator vectors for the memo information. Now, what we want to locate is the subsampling of the codebook when this PMI is indicated over the PUCCH channel. Now, the subsampling aspect is very important for us to locate, considering that we will look for the logic of codebook subsampling, and this should be there for the PUCCH. So we will also run PUCCH in end. Now we want to track this concept before 2010, what was being discussed before 2010. So we will put the 31st December 2010 as the cutoff date in our case. So here we can use from and to field to restrict our search to a specified date range. Now, one thing to note here is the code book can also be mentioned as code words. Subsampling can also be described as subset or downsampling. So there are like variety of ways that can be used to represent these terms. And hence, to capture all these variations, we have a keywords library that we can use and put all the synonyms for individual keywords here. So like codebook, for codebook we have codebook and code words. Subsampling, we have subsampling, downsampling, and subset. For PUCCH, we have UCI or uplink control. Once we put all these keywords here, when the this search engine will perform search, it will look for all the synonyms of codebook. So if the results disclose code words, subsampling, and CQI, then those results will also be captured. If the results disclose codebook and subset and UCI, then those results will also come in the search set. Now let's just run this query and see what comes up. Plus, this database also tells you in which years the publications have been recorded. So in this case, as we seen, had looking for all the documents before 2010, and the database provides that the first occurrence of this concept is recorded in 2007, and 25 occurrences have been recorded for 2007. Similarly, these bars indicate the relative number of occurrences for 2007, 8, 9, and 10. Now coming to the results, what concept is described in the individual results? Here we can see subset restriction, code book subset restriction bit width. That is, so it looks to be related to what we are looking for. And then it is also talking about the PUCCH. Then there is a can be confined the precoder selection in the UE to a subset of the elements in the code book using code book subset restrictions. It is also been talking about PUCCH. So here we can see we have in the search query run subsampling, but it is also showing subset as the synonym for code book, sorry, subsampling. And the results are also being captured using that subset keyword. book subset, and yes, subsampling is also highlighted as we can see here. So once we find any particular document to be of relevance, we can click on this link to download it, and the document will get downloaded. Now we can also use this tool to narrow down our search for a specific year. If let's suppose I want to see those 25 documents which have been published in 2007, so I can click on this bar and all those 25 results will get loaded into the search space. So here we can see the 25 documents which were published in 2007 for this concept. Plus one, very good thing about this database is if there is a result which discloses same text as the above result, like in this case, result 8 discloses same text as result 4. So it does not shows the complete text of it. It simply says text same as above result 4. And I don't need to look at it again. So I can simply overlook this and move to the next result because it discloses the same text as disclosed by the result 4. So this considerably saves time. Now, one more thing I can do with this is in case of standards development, there are offline discussions also which take place where things are discussed between the participants via email, and whatever consensus they come to it or whatever ideas different companies propose, they put a summary of these in the email, in the documents describing what all things they have discussed. So similarly, we can track those things by writing email here. Let's suppose if I want to track down what was being discussed for the CQI reporting aspect, then I can write it as CQI report, and I can write email along with that, so that I will be able to find out what all things were being discussed about email, uh, on emails regarding CQI reports. I will be restricting it to 31 December 2008 itself. Let's suppose I want to find out. But otherwise, what happens is usually all those things which are discussed over the email, they come up in some form of agreements, and these are already present in the standard documents. Usually, these are some things which are in the last few months of the email conversations that are not there in the standards. So to track whether such conversations were happening on a particular aspect, we can use this trick also in our database. So let's suppose now again CQI can also be mentioned in a different ways. Like CQI can be written as channel quality and UCI. So we will put all those ways which we can think about in this keywords library. And similarly, email can also be mentioned as offline, and sometimes they put the documents as summary of the discussions or way forward on the CQI reporting aspect. So these are some of the variations that are used in the 3GPP for email discussions or whatever agreements which have been achieved on the specific concept. So we can use all these in our search and perform a search. Let's see what results come up. So this shows that the document, this is the timeline showing how, I mean, in which period the email discussions were happening on the CQI reporting aspect. It shows in 2005 there were no discussions on CQI reporting over the emails probably, and while there were some discussions in 2002, 3, 4, and 6, 7, and 8. We can quickly go over these things, their relevant text, and figure out those documents which summarize the email conclusions for the CQI reporting aspect. As here we can say offset for CQI reporting, and let's assume this isn't looks relevant. Probably this is not an email conclusion. Yeah, so here this is a document which summarizes way forward on CQI reporting for transmission mode 7. This is something which could be useful to us R10846790 0846790 way forward on CQI reporting. Then again, this is a document CQI reporting email discussion on CQI reporting 084371. So these from here we can quickly get the document numbers, we can download them and read them to find out the relevant email conversations, whether email conversations were taking place or not, and as well as we can get their summaries. Later on, we can also check the independent conversations over the email if required. That's it for today's video. Thank you.